Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. I'm going to be talking about a story that was shared with me by Sister Cece. The story was about a young man who works for Amazon. He was in his work vehicle. You may have already seen this story, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this because there is an attitude that we have taken on that to me it borders on some type of mental problem when you go through certain things in this country continuously and you have this heart of love and forgiveness towards people who have been a certain way to all of us for hundreds of years, but you can't muster up that same type of love and forgiveness for your own people for minor infractions. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that if one of your own people does something horrendous to you, that you're supposed to just buckle with love for them either. I'm not saying that. But notice I compared horrible things that are being done by others to all of us, and you're able to forgive that. But a minor infraction from your own people, you take your hatred and anger to the grave. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, this young man, he was in a handicap parking space, and this older white man saw him, and of course, they police everything that we do. You can't jaywalk without having to show your papers to prove that you have a right to do what you're doing or that you have a right to exist, right? Anyway, he's in a handicap parking space, and he's approached by this man, and somehow he ends up with a bullet in his back as he's running away from this man. One thing I wanted to talk about, and maybe I'll talk about this in another video, on the whole beta black man and switch, whatever. I don't know what I'm going to title it, but anyway, they already know that they're armed when they approach you. And so they get in your face, and you being a man, if someone comes to you and they're in your face in a certain way, you're going to respond like a man responds. But in this case, the brother ran. He probably saw the gun, so he ran. Now, keep in mind, he's working for a big major company, Amazon. He's in a shiny work vehicle. So he's on the clock. He's working his job, doing his job. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that it's okay to park in a handicapped parking space for all of you who want to make that the big issue, because I've seen that too, where so many people were saying, well, he wasn't. So what? He was in a handicapped parking space does not give this man a right to approach him and ultimately shoot him in the back, almost ending his life. To me, that was attempted murder. He ruined the man's life. He's unable to walk, and they say he will never walk again. But what I wanted to say about this, I touched on it already, the fact that he's on the news, and they always throw this question at us. This is a form of witchcraft. We need to understand what is happening to us. I never see or hear the news people asking any other race of people if they forgive someone who has almost taken their lives. That question always comes up when they're talking to us. Do you forgive the person who shot you in your back? Why the hell are you asking us that? You see, they always ask us that. Do we get it now? Do we understand? Do we see how this thing is being played? Do they ask these other racial groups, Asians, Latinos, white people, Arabs? Do they ask any other racial group while they're yet in the hospital, bullet still in his back? In some cases, they're asking the family members of someone whose life is just gone, whose life has been taken. They're asking them if they forgive the murderer. And the answer most of the time comes back, yes, I do. I don't want to have that type of hatred on my heart. No one is telling you to hate anyone. But when I see that we just have this instantaneous love and forgiveness for people who have made it very clear that they can't stand you, But for a minor infraction, you don't have that same type of love and forgiveness for your own people. That is a problem. In another video, I said that I wanted to talk about this separately because, again, what are the solutions to all these things? We keep talking about, so many people report on these things that you're getting everyone's perspective on what happened over here and what happened over there. We're getting all these perspectives, but our minds are staying stuck in the same place where you have a very small group, a very small remnant of people who are all about solutions. You have the other groups of people who just want to hear about what's happening and say, oh, that's too bad. What a shame. Look at what they keep doing. And then you have those who just don't care one way or another what happens in the Black community because they have escaped it. And as far as they're concerned, they're living high on the hog. Hollywood fame has taken hold of their minds. They're living large, celebrity status, friends galore of every race, so they don't want to deal with Black issues. There have even been celebrities who talked about that, who said that they don't really care what's happening in the Black community. So as a people, we are divided nationwide and worldwide. And so for those that talk about these things, it is just really a hope and a prayer that somehow enough of us will care enough to try to do something. That's all it is, because any real moves in that direction we have not seen. Now, when you see people like Martin Luther King, I have nothing bad that I'm going to say about Martin Luther King, but he thought the solution was for us to try to unite with the people who were doing the things to us that we continue to see happening today. He thought that was the solution. Then he soon figured out that these people were not interested in uniting with us in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, everyone knows by now that higher ups were involved with his demise. But now all of these decades later, they want to pretend like, oh, we love Dr. Martin Luther King. Don't even try it. They even have a day and many streets named after him. It is all a part of the game that they play, the mind manipulation, just to quiet some down. See, look, Negroes, we gave you a Martin Luther King Day. Now shut up. Because they know for the most part, most of our people will fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. They know that most of our people, all they want to hear is, I'm sorry. I remember one brother actually said that. This white man ruined his life. And he said all he wanted to hear was he's sorry. And so that just made him feel so good. He was able to sleep better because he heard this man say, I'm sorry. Although his life was messed up. When I look at these hypocrites, and right now I'm talking about Black folk, who have this type of moving compassion for people who can ruin your life and go to sleep at night like it's no big deal. But then these same Black hypocrites will do whatever they can to try to ruin another Black person. That is the sickness that has developed. To me, that sickness is just as bad as cancer. Just as bad as cancer. You can't love your own brothers and sisters, can't forgive them. But someone who will ruin your life, shoot you in the back, kill one of your family members, oh, you forgive them. Now, why am I talking about this? Because, again, these problems are going to continue to surface because we have to understand that the people who do these things to us, they know what they're doing. Stop thinking that they don't, that somehow if you appeal to their hearts, that they're going to change. This is something that is embedded. It's easy to maybe knock something off of the surface that may be there, but when something is embedded, you have to dig down deep to get it out. And you begging and pleading and crying and all this stuff is not digging down deep. It actually makes them look at you like a poor sucker. That's what it does. So what we've got to learn to do as a people, I'm not going to say that this man shouldn't forgive. If that's what he feels he needs to do, that is his problem. I'm going to say that is his problem. But what I am going to say to people just like him, people just like him in the black community, why don't you start showing that same amount of love? And I'm not speaking directly, specifically to him. I'm talking about people like him who don't have this same type of love and compassion for your own people. Why can't we start sharing this same type of love and compassion for our own? This is all I'm trying to say here. But let me round this out and show you how we should really be. Enemies come in black and white, okay? So since we know this, I'm not saying to let anyone take advantage of you. I don't care if they are black or white. It doesn't matter. If you are treated a certain way, you don't have an obligation to allow people to continue to walk over you just because they look like you. So I'm not suggesting that you become a doormat to black people too because you have freely become one for other racial groups. What I'm saying is think clearly. And we need to stop being so foolish with how we deal with people, period. Because as long as we have this allow people to walk on you mentality, everyone is going to look at us like the suckers of the century. Because that is what's happening. And then don't think that they don't see and realize that we don't have the same type of love and forgiveness for each other. They know it. This is why everyone in the world thinks that our people are stupid. This is why the Bible specifically says that we as a people are stupid. Read it for yourself. In some translations, it says sottish, Sottish. Other translations just clearly say it, where the Most High himself says, my people are stupid. To do that which is good, they don't know how to do that, but to do that which is evil, they know how to do that very well. So don't think you're doing something magnificent, Mr. Amazon driver, because you forgave this man. You're not. Don't think that the Most High Elohim of heaven is smiling down on you for that, because he's not. Trust me, he is not. When you get in the word and you really begin to know and understand who the Most High is, you will be shocked, because what your Christian pastor taught you was a lie. Okay? With that, I will say shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.